Hello, beautiful Facebook. I hope you are doing amazing on this beautiful day that we're existing on. Whew. My name is Colleen Gallagher. If you do not know me, if you've never met me, and I'm a lot of things, but I'm an online course creator. I'm in academia. I'm an author. I'm a podcast host. What else? I love working out. I'm a yogi. I'm a global citizen. I've been to over 40 countries. I love fashion. I love people. I love conversations. I love so many things. So I just want to make sure this is live. I've never done this before. So I are through Zoom. So let me just make sure. Okay, perfect. We're live. We're here. So when you join, say hello. Let me know you're tuning in. If you've never met me, like I said, I'm just super excited for you to be here. One of my deepest passions in life, or reasons I feel like for existing, is to guide people into awareness of why they're here. Now, this became a very deep passion of mine. It was deeply seated in me because I had cancer at the age of 14. I also was very gifted as a child with skills or ways to see the world that many people train or practice to see the world that way their whole life. And so I'm just super grateful to be here. We have a lot of topics we want to talk about today. I was super fired up. I'm going to be calm on this and super fired up though. So when you join though, whenever you are, comment below, say hello, let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're on the replay, #replay. And then why I feel if you join, I just wanted to share with you. I have a Magical Creatures Oracle deck card. I drew all of these creatures and they're basically from the Crystallic realm, which is similar to the angelic and cosmos. And because there's going to be a lot happening in today, there already was a lot happening. That's why I'm on here to specifically talk a little bit about what happened in Georgia and what's going on with the election today. The card I pulled for everyone is Playa. And this basically just says, enjoy the bliss of life. Today, choose to find joy in the small moments. And from this place, feel the difference of ecstasy moving through you. So this was the card that you can go and remember to experience, remember to have. It has a spaceship on it. I won't go into the whole meeting, but today, we're all going to need to remember to find the joy, to come back into our center, to come back into our nervous system. Okay, so I'm currently getting my PhD, and I actually had a law class last night, which is super fascinating. And I'm obsessively, if you know me, I'm very obsessive. I'm obsessively watching the Georgia election. And I'm like, okay, this is like really close, which is totally fine. I'm super excited about anything that's ethical. I can say ethics. Anything that's, if we have a system where we say, this is how we're going to run something. So if I say, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store and I meant to pay $3.29 plus this 10% tax of California tax or whatever the tax is for that product, then that's the system. That's how it's supposed to work. I'm very much like, okay, this is the system. This is what we're meant to do to function in that. Okay, so I'm watching this Georgia thing, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm good. Okay, like it's getting close, but I'm good. Like whoever wins, whatever it is, what it is, if it's done by the system. Here's my problem. And I'm like saying this because you guys, I'm super fired up and I really was doing my breath today. You're going to see me go in between these different identities of Colleen because we're really trying to integrate this as humanity's integrating. I was super fired up about the votes stopping in Georgia. Not only did we have the votes that were stopping in Georgia for the Senate, we had it for the actual USA election. Okay. I'm all for that there's not always a black and white in the system. Sometimes there's discount codes if we want to talk about going to the store. Sometimes there's sales. Totally about that. For the election, sure, Georgia, you wanted to stop the vote counts and redo the voting count twice, to have it twice in a row. No. And so what I want to talk about today specifically is what is the system? What's happening in the system? What is the system? How do we move through this together? because I know I'm not the only one out there who sees that this is just not what we're not following instructions. Like, I'm totally fine. We can change instructions. We can say, like, this is how we used to do something and this is the new way. Totally good. Totally great on that. That's not happening. So where I want to go into this and what I want to focus with this is what is actually happening and how can you as one person become empowered, become self-empowered to understand what's happening. So I have my little notebook here because I want to make sure I got everything I wanted to talk about. So what is the system? I just did a beautiful podcast episode with Alexander May. I will leave the link in the comments about our 4 podcast episode series we're doing right now. And it's all about what is the system. Many times we think that the system is outside of us. We think that the system is something that we were born into, or we think like our parents are a system, or the schooling system, or I don't want to get too controversial on here, but the election system, or the system of culture, where some cultures don't believe women should have rights. Some cultures believe that women should have rights. Who am I to tell a culture they should or shouldn't? That's not really my job. If you're looking at it objectively, like, that's their inherent culture and nature and tradition. So what is the system? That leads us back to this question. Like, some countries, majority of countries in this world, do not believe that women should have rights. That's okay. That's how it is. This is not me making this up. This is like my background in marketing, working for a $23 billion company, working for a $400 million company, living in 5 countries, traveling over 40 countries, getting my master's in global technology and development. How is this world actually developing? How does technology play a role? To now my PhD in psychology focused on global leadership and change. I'm not just talking about something I have no training in. These are things that I've went and experienced and come up with my own ideologies, my own voice. So what is the system? The system is understanding how you look at all these different variables in the world and how do you yourself become empowered. It's understanding the monetary system is not outside of you. Taxes are not outside of you. It's understanding that technology is not outside of you. It's inside of you. It's understanding that manufacturing, you can manufacture a product. I've created products. I know how to manufacture them. I know how to distribute them. I know how to create products that are out of thin air. Like, they're not even tangible objects, and I can manufacture, sell them, and distribute them. There is no system outside of you. The issue here, or the opportunity for all of us to expand, is that when we see something like this in Georgia, or like the election, but today is going to be an amazing day. I really hope Pence comes through. No matter what, it's going to work out. And it's not because I'm Democratic or Republican. It's just, we have a system. If we have rules, this is how it's going. We agreed, this is the Constitution, or we agreed that when I come online, I'm coming on for free. I'm offering my time for free, and you are choosing to receive for free. That's a system. But when that system that we've agreed upon is not being followed, and there's no one there to correct it, it causes a lot of anxiety and it causes a lot of feelings that come up on us. And so what I want to really offer in this is, first, listen to that episode, What is the System? It's in my feed, or I'll post a link. The second is understanding the system, whether it's Georgia, whether it's the election, whether it's Trump staying in office or Biden getting in, or whatever's going to happen with the Senate. The system, whatever you care deeply about, is your mission to move forward with. Like, I'm not just doing all the things I'm doing just because it's like, oh my God, like, I want all these little things. Like, I'm doing it because I believe I'm here for a specific purpose. And I believe that in my purpose, I'm finding more things that are fun. And when I find more things that are fun, I get to express myself like this and get to be like, okay, I wake up, I'm super passionate. I've got a lot of energy moving through me. There's a lot of it. How do I move through it? How do I express it? And how do I share it in a way for others to rise into their own system, into contributing into this world? That is what it means to have a system. So back to the things that are going on that are kind of crazy, I feel like. So when you have someone posting, there's a memory loss, or whatever he said, there's a memory glitch. I can't even know what he said, how idiotic that is. Again, back to this thing, the system is you. you can choose how you insert yourself in any type of system because we live in a natural ecosystem. Nature is going to keep going as an ecosystem with you alive or with you dead. You are irrelevant in nature's ecosystem. So we want to get you functioning on how are you relevant in your system? How are you relevant in what matters to you? And this is where we want to get you moving. This is where we want to get you thinking and expanding and feeling. Because from that place, you're going to become empowered instead of just going, I listened to the news today. I listened to the media. And this is what happened. Like when, what's this governor? I have to grab my phone. Whatever he said, or whatever this man said about I want to get it exactly. So if you guys are quoting me, having a memory card issue, which is delaying the count. What? A memory card issue? Like, it doesn't even make sense. However, back to what I can do as one person. Okay, this is something that clearly I have a lot of feelings about. Clearly I have a lot of passion about. And I have an awareness now that I have this passion about this. So what am I going to do to take action? This is like the way of empowerment. This is the way of finding your purpose. This is the way of like transmuting and transforming what's existing. And so where I want to go after that, and I'll leave, like, I don't want to go too much in the system because I've already did a huge podcast on that for all of you guys. But okay, the next thing, elections versus standing in your truth. So this is really hard for me. As many of you know, in 2020, last year, I really started coming out, and it's not, again, like, I really don't necessarily care about a party. I care about global citizenship, which obviously, or I should say obviously, which honestly is meant to have this expanded view that everyone has an equal opportunity to rise regardless of their location through technology. That is what I'm passionate about. That is what I care about. But when you look at America, who has been a leader, let's say, in a certain mindset or in a certain perspective of offering people to leave their countries to come here and get an opportunity for freedom or get an opportunity to build a life that they want. And then you're seeing that there's fraud that's being done blatantly. I feel very inspired by this. And I feel like this is me taking a stand, just like stand in my truth of like, what is it do you stand for? Like, and maybe Democratic and Republican doesn't really make sense to you. Like, I know a lot of you here, you're more like in the healer based, like that may not make sense. Like, I'm Democratic or Republican. It's really more like, what are the issues you deeply care about? Like, we all have passionate issues. Like, for me, I do not agree with Western medicine. I will not, because of when I had cancer. That is something I'm very passionate about. I am not as a big of an advocate. I don't know enough about it for, let's say, veganism. Am I moving in that direction? But I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be like, this is the strongest thing I care about. Same way as, let's say, gender equality. I used to be big about it. I'm not that big anymore about it. Like, you've got to find, as much as I am now about like education, you've got to find these topics that come up in the media for you. And you've got to realize like, wow, this is really activating me. This is really firing me up. What can I do in my expression to manifest or to move in a direction that's going to make me feel like I'm whole, or make me feel like I'm empowered, or make me feel like I'm at peace, or make me feel like I'm actually contributing to this thing that is super activating me. Because it's just so obvious. Like, I don't even know how it's not obvious to people that there's so much fraud going on, and that the Democratic Party has been paid by China, because China, if you look, this is an economist, I forget her name, has basically been planning for the last 10 years, the industries they saw arising and the industries they wanted to be leaders in. Technology was one of them. The space was one of them. Virtual realities. These are things that China planned 10 years ago. So everything that's being done is for them to gain market share. This is not like me just making this up. Like, there's so many economists saying this, and you really got to know, as one person, you can do something. One person, you matter. One person, your mindset, your words, your faith, your beliefs, your conversations, what you offer into this world, it matters profoundly. Because things like this that happen with like a person, oh, the memory, what leaked or whatever, the memory data, you could be that person. If you're passionate about technology, you're passionate about understanding technology world, like that could be you. We could need your help as humanity. So it's really starting to be sensitive to these topics and become aware of it. And asking yourself, how do I rewrite the story? How do I, as one person, get involved to rewrite what's going on? The next thing that I really want to talk about that with this is that there's something called ideology. I don't want to say it wrong. Ideological warfare. So basically, how a culture formed its ideology. There's something called ideology warfare. So basically, this takes about 10 years when I was reading this. And what happens is a country can decide to infiltrate another country's ideology. So let's say this actually started back in the 2016 election when it was Trump versus Hillary. That was the first time there was really, really big election fraud with technology. And there's a no-brainer. There was fraud. There's absolutely a no-brainer. There was fraud with that. But that was one. Now we have a second one that's happening, and China is actually going through the Democrats, or let's say COVID-19, are through Black Lives Matters, to have an ideological warfare. This is not just me making it up, like this is real. And I'm not saying those issues aren't real or that those issues aren't present for people, but you guys, it's a form of war. Like, we don't live in a time anymore where we're like, okay, let's go to fight. Like, we have bombs that literally could blow up the whole planet. Like, this is not like we're thinking too small. Like, and that's what I really desire to communicate here is like, what is the ideas that are influencing you? Who are the people that are influencing you? Like, to think that it's like that this has anything to do with winning or losing, like it has nothing to do with that. This is literally with China infiltrating the whole world so China runs it. Because the next part is the space revolution, which thank God Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are literally working their asses off, and Richard Branson, to get us out there before China does anything. Like, you guys, these are serious, real things. These aren't just like, oh my God, I forgot I can't leave my house. Like, COVID-19 is so small. I don't even understand. Like, and I'm so passionate about this. I'm trying not to like be frustrated with people because I've got to communicate this. But you guys, like, there's something so much bigger at play. And the sooner, like, I know that you're here, is that you desire to hear something different. You desire to be in a different narrative than what's being relayed. Like, there's a reason. It's time for you to rise. It's time for you to step into this expression. Even though it's very challenging, it's super activating. There's a lot of different modalities you need to be well versed in to allow this energy to come through you and move out of you with grace. And so the other thing I really want to go to is Western medicine versus healing. I know I've gone a little bit about this, but I just want to go on it again. So Western medicine, yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I think my face said enough. But Western medicine is just, everything about it is a parasitic, toxic, slave programming mentality, code, let that land. That's it. And if you're currently in Western medicine, I was on medication supposed to be for the rest of my life. I was on it from 14 to, well, I really didn't take it honestly when I was in corporate. I mean, I like had it, but it was like I wasn't taking it regularly. Yeah, it's just, I had been on medication for 3 years, but I was supposed to be 4 years now. I was supposed to be on it for the rest of my life, and I've not. Like, just the fact that you have to go and fill a prescription. Why are you prescribing to something? What is being prescribed? Like, it's almost like subscribe, same thing, but you're being you're being told what to subscribe to. Everything is written in the language. Healing, self-heal, self-empowerment, look within. You don't need to subscribe to anything that you don't want to, except your own empowerment of what is your truth? Why is it you're here? What are the topics you care about? And So let me see if I'm just feeling if there's anything else I really want to share about that. COVID-19 directly related to this election in so many ways. And COVID-19, the vaccine, when you think about the man who's making it, Bill Gates, who technically he has the largest operating system in the whole world. Even on Apple, he has the operating system. He has Microsoft on there with Outlook, and he also has the Word and all of that. Like, he literally has a monopoly. He was in a court system before that even happened for monopoly, is like for making a monopoly. Then he started doing it privately and sneakily. Then he opened his nonprofit, so you can't copy it as much. And now he's doing a monopoly with an operating system, which is COVID-19. The vaccine is an operating system to be put into you as a virus to clear viruses. What does an operating system do? It's to help clear viruses on my computer. Like, and for those of you who are like, oh, the people aren't that smart. Do you think that these men who have made billions and billions and billions of dollars are not that smart? These people are wildly intelligent. Like, for you to think that the person who made an education system that so many people are following into as public education instead of private, you're out of your mind. Like, it literally is not. Like, please go educate yourself. Go watch Thrive. It's a movie on YouTube. It's the most watched documentary. Never even been able to be everywhere because no one will distribute it because there's too much truth. And there's no such thing as conspiracy. If for those of you who are like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, like, no, there's just truth. And if your truth was truth, you wouldn't have to call me that. The only reason we call people names is because they don't understand something. And the only reason we don't understand something is because we're disempowered by not having the right education, which isn't your fault or anyone's fault, but this is an opportunity for you to become educated, or just don't follow. Either one. But what I really want to share with that is that when you have something like this with the election, where it's like, now we're making it a new normal, that we're going to stop the votes at night and recount them in the morning, like, that's a new normal. Okay, well, the system that we had is not working. Now the system that was agreed upon between American people and the American government it's lost credibility. So back to this, what is the system? You are the system. You get to decide how you play in the system. The systems you have internally, like your chakras, your aura, your faith, those systems, either you negotiate on them or you don't negotiate on them. And if you negotiate on your own systems, that's how we have people like this in the world negotiating massively upon humanity. And it's so important that you show up and get clear on, how do you want to live your life? How do you want to systemize your life? How do you want to be present in your life? Because that moves us forward or not. And the other thing that I think it's really important to share, I said election versus standing in your truth. It's all about coming back to your truth. It's all about standing in your truth. It's not about an election. It's not about COVID. It's not even about really trying to take over the world. It's like you just becoming empowered to be happy, to be you. Like, it's you choosing to rise. It's you choosing to live an incredible life. It's you choosing to not live in any system that is not true to you, because that means you are negotiating and compromising with yourself, which is why things like this happen, where the governor or whatever, I don't know, he's not the governor, where this guy said the memory is messing up, so we have to stop the counts. That's how people like that exist, because they're disempowered and they're not connected to their truth. And that directly relates, I hate to say it, but it directly relates why he's also overweight, because he's not in his truth. And a lot of times weight has to do when we don't feel safe to be ourselves. I just had to plug my computer in, but 1 second. Okay, I was like, this was lagging. Okay, there we go. Okay, but the thing that I want to share as well on top of this, okay, election, standing your truth. Like, the other thing is, like, no matter what country you're from, like, you always have an opportunity to rise. You always have, I'm just complete on that thought. That's it. Like, we don't have to do anything else. Like, sure, there's corruption. There's always been corruption. Every election ever in history has had fraud. It's not about the fraud. It's just that it's so blatant now. It's so blatant. And we don't have a system we can agree on, which is because there's so many people internally not clear on their system. So you're showing up to re-perpetuate systems that are not good. And then Western medicine versus healing. The other post that I put too, which is I want to say about COVID-19, like the vaccine is an operating system that goes into people because they're trying to digitize people. So that's why I was saying, like, it's going to be funny, like, oh, when people get like, oh my God, the vaccine, like, digitized, and I did a crime, but I had the vaccine, so it's excused. Like when people now use mental health for excusing rape or murder. Like, no, you're not excused. I'm not saying that it was okay what happened or why your mindset wasn't that way, but no, you're not excused from that. And this is where we're going. This is how it's looking. So what can you do as one person? What's the thing that you can do to become empowered? I wanted to offer a few things that I'm sharing for you to do. One is I have an 8-week manifestation course. So this course is specifically designed for you to start understanding what is the system? Like what is actual vibrations? What are feelings? What are emotions? When you're fired up, like I was just sharing, I am, and you can see me also transition when I go into a more grounded place. How do you really move between energies like that in a very stable way? And how do you do it to then have it roll out of you into the world to actually manifest true change, sustainable change? How do you actually start to manifest using social media to attract new people into your reality? It's an 8-week course. We start January 11th. The pre-sale ends on Friday. So definitely message me to enroll because the pre-sale is over Friday. The other thing that I really want to offer, because I feel like this is really important, there's a lot going to go on. And today, more is going to happen. More is going to happen today. You can check my stories. A lot is going to happen on this day. Mark my words. I came on live before it happened, but I have an anxiety relief workshop. I was a highly anxious person for majority of my life, probably from middle school till about a year ago, when I started to really work through anxiety. What is anxiety? Why does it come on? How does it actually relate to spirituality? And what can we do to provide relief for ourselves when we wake up and we see things like Georgia is having fraud for the second time? We see things like the president, whatever's going to happen in this next 24 hours. How do we deal with that? How do we deal with things like COVID-19? How do we deal with losing our job? How do we deal with clients saying no? How do we deal with divorces? Like, how do we go through that? And I created this workshop specifically for people who are highly emotionally sensitive, highly empathic, and your anxiety rises very easily. This is a workshop for you. I want to create a really safe space. It's January 30th, right? I want to make sure. January 30th. I did it last year. It was stellar. It's $111. And then January 20th, it goes up to $333. This workshop is for you to really start to grasp when your mind is going chaotic, you feel out of control, you don't know how to focus, there's things you want to get done, but you can't get it done. This workshop is for you. Message me to enroll. I am capping it because I want to make sure each person in the workshop really gets one-on-one attention with me, and we really work through this together with you, because anxiety is actually a really good tool. It's actually a really powerful tool for the force of good when you know how to use it and experience it in your body to reframe the direction of how it's interacting with you. And what I mean by that is, instead of feeling anxious, you feel empowered. So message me and get enrolled in that. It's one of my most favorite workshops that I run. The next thing that I want to share, I have my third book, An Uncompromised Life. We are launching that. This book is a book for any man or woman, but this book is the book for you. If you're listening to me and you're like, holy shit, I want to become empowered. I want to love my life. I want to understand what my passions are. I want to have clarity on what my system is. Why am I here? Why did I drop into this ecosystem on planet Earth? You probably are familiar with aliens. You probably have seen ghosts or lights, or you've experienced metaphysical dimensions of life. This book is for you. This book is the book of my life at this point. It is like the book that is really rooting me in integrity down into this planet. And I know that it can with you. So this, I highly recommend pre-ordering. I'll leave the link here. You can pre-order through January 30th for $22 for a signed copy. Once you pre-order, I write it. I am like writing a note. I don't just do a signed copy. Like I write a specific intuitive note for every single person. But this book, I'm telling you, you are going to want to get it. It is going to change your life. It is going to answer these things about the election, Western medicine, self-empowerment, how I healed myself from cancer, how you can heal yourself from Western medicine. This book is how to build a business. Like I literally break out in there how to build a heart-centered business. I have built so many products and services under my business. It's in 3 years, it's insane. And what I'm doing this year, the more products I'm creating, like I have a list that keeps growing rapidly. Like my team and I are like, oh my God, how are we going to do all this? And I'm like, that's not the right question. We're just going to make it happen. Like you guys, this book is the book for you. It's $22. I'll leave the link below. You're going to want to get it. Okay. So with that, I was really fired up. Thank you for those of you who are on here. You can leave your questions. You can tag people. You can share this. The other thing I was going to say, if you want more information on COVID-19, I have a whole lecture that I did on COVID-19, especially with Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. I think Bill Gates is a phenomenal, if you're looking at the context of businessman, absolutely phenomenal businessman. No doubt. Absolutely phenomenal. Probably politician. Absolutely unethical human being. I feel Steve Jobs, depending on the context, creativity wise, was brilliant to allow creatives to actually have a space to grow and evolve easily. Businessman, probably not the best businessman. So it's really important, and this is what I cover in my 8-week manifestation course, which is also something you're going to want to get into. If you really know that you are meant to manifest greatness, and what I mean by greatness, you know that you are fed up with these freaking systems that are not working. Like you're fed up with it. You've had it up to fucking here. This is the course for you. The 8-week manifestation course, I'm literally going to break down understanding your feelings of anger, the frustration, and how to really transition that into a different structure for you to function. And I'm going to energetically help you build out a new infrastructure for your life, whether it's an online course, whether it's a product, whether it's a business. Like it does not matter. I can do this time and time again, like clockwork. It's almost like I breathe. Doesn't matter the business, doesn't matter what thing you're angry about or frustrated about. I can create the structure like so easily. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's part of the marketing and spirituality. Like I'm obsessed. The 8-week manifestation course is for you. If you are like, I know I'm meant to take action and do something. And 2021 is the year that I'm building incredible things. Like 2021 is the year that I'm creating. It's the year that I'm not just sitting here complaining, but I'm taking the damn action. Get in this course, get in the 8-week manifestation course. It will transform your life in so many ways. I had no idea about manifestation when I was in corporate or in college. And I mean, and I did with my business when I started it, but like the practice, the last 3 years I've been using with manifestation, you guys, the more you practice something, the greater momentum that happens in your life. So get in this course to start or strengthen your momentum. Even if you're someone who has been more in the corporate space, or you're more in a head space, you're like, I like to have logic and structure. This manifestation course is going to profoundly accelerate you, because I'm going to guide you to understand how to use your feelings as momentum. Instead of taking stress and anxiety and that you're overloaded and always busy, I'm going to help you take that. We're not slowing you down. I don't want to do the manifestation. We're slowing down. We're sitting in Zen. That's not me. I'm not the Zen girl. It's just, that's not my spiritual purpose. There's other spiritual women and men out there. Please go with them for Zen. I want to help you still with this high, strong, high intensity performance, understand the stress and all the things going on, and how do we reframe it to penetrate you to get faster results. Get in this 8-week manifestation course. It's not just this foo like, let's sit down and meditate. And it's not that. I wouldn't have getting my master's, my PhD, 3 books, writing my 4th. I wouldn't have my podcast, my oracle cards. I wouldn't have that if I was like, let's just sit and meditate and talk about our feelings. No, that is not me. That's not how I teach manifestation. Get in this course. It will change your life. If this conversation resonates with you and you're like, there's so much going on. I know I'm not a conspiracy theory, but these people are saying this. Get in this manifestation course. It is, I promise you, I believe in it so much. I'm just telling you because I know what it will do for your life. So message me manifestation to get in it. The anxiety relief, message me anxiety. Uncompromised life, message me. So I love you. Be great. Be well. Relief. Know your system. You're amazing. You're incredible. Greatness is coming.